Hi, my name is Sharon, and I've never made a video before, so bear with me. But my husband and I just recovered from COVID-19, and I really wanted to do a video to let people know about my experience and what was happening to us, how we got through it. Before I got COVID-19 or knew I had it, I was having some headaches and I was taking Motrin for them. But I want to say that my first symptom was probably a tickle in my throat. It was like right here. And it was something like, I kept doing this, like sipping water trying to get rid of it. I couldn't get rid of the tickle in my throat. I do have some notes here because I want to be accurate and get things, let you know things that I otherwise might forget. The following day from having my tickle in my throat, I started coughing. This is like a cough that you just can't stop. You're hacking cough the whole time. And my throat got sore, but I'm going to say that it was only sore like on the left side. The right side didn't seem to get sore, just on my left side. It was a lot of fatigue, little diarrhea, gas. I know that's probably too much information. But about 4 days into my not feeling well, I kind of thought it was over. But my husband had gone down to get tested. And so I thought, well, I'll go ahead and go down and get tested. So I went to go get my test. And the very next morning after getting my test, I woke up and it had hit me really hard. And I had unbelievable fatigue, body aches, headaches. My head continued, and I had headaches, and I was trying to control them with Motrin, but I was unable to control them enough. Motrin would make it better, but wouldn't make them go away. So I finally called a walk-in clinic, the one that did my testing, and they prescribed me medication for cluster headaches, and that really did help. It helped a lot. I also, I don't know, I had like, and this happens to me sometimes underneath my shoulder blades, it starts to ache when I have a cold or a virus. It's like it settles in that spot. And it didn't settle like right in my shoulder blade, but my shoulder, it was just extremely sore. It felt like the virus had settled there. And one morning I woke up and I felt like my foot was just hurting. It was hurting, and there was nothing I could do to make that go away. And that lasted just a couple days, and then that subsided. What did I take? I took zinc, and I was taking 50 milligrams of zinc 3 times a day before I got COVID. And I was taking vitamin C and D3. It did get to the point where the food didn't taste good, but I also didn't feel very well, so I didn't feel like eating. Now my husband lost his taste and smell. Everything to him, he said, tasted like cardboard. But I want to talk about my husband. I am almost 65 years old in a couple months. And I'm pretty much healthy. I've had some blood clots in my legs. And I did have one heart ablation for AFib. But my husband, had I listened to the media, I would have been planning his funeral, because he's 73, he'll be 74 beginning next year. He has congestive heart failure. He is a type 2 diabetic, COPD. He's had 3 heart ablations, and 1 stent in his heart. And he had pneumonia with COVID-19. And I'm going to say the pneumonia was there in the beginning of COVID-19, the very beginning. And we found that out when I took him to the emergency room, and he was running 101 fever. Oh yeah, I had fevers as well. My fevers got as high as 103, but I was always able to bring him down with Motrin, and I took 3 Motrins, and I was always able to get it to go down a couple points. Occasionally we woke up soaking wet, sheets, nightgown drenched, and I really wanted hydroxychloroquine. I especially wanted it for my husband, because with all of his ailments, I thought my husband was coming, and all of his ailments, I wasn't sure, because if you listen to the media, it was like he was gonna die. I might have been planning a funeral. And so I tried really hard to get hydroxychloroquine. I believed the American frontline doctors, they were just, it's hard for anybody to deny that they had treated 300 patients and had 0 deaths, and many of their patients had the same symptoms that my husband had. But I couldn't find it. I couldn't get my own doctor to prescribe it for me. The walk-in clinic wouldn't prescribe it for me. And so I got on the internet and started searching the internet with as much strength that I had, because you really are extremely fatigued with this. I was able to find a link and get an online doctor. And the online doctor, you fill out a complete health history. You also have to fill out vitamins you take and prescriptions that you're on. They call you back, and I was prescribed hydroxychloroquine. The first day I took the hydroxychloroquine, it was at night, probably like 4 p.m. When I woke up, I felt so much better. I can't even tell you, I had energy. I did 9 loads of laundry, because laundry had really started to build up. The second day, I even had a little more energy. My coughs had almost subsided, at least 98% of it did. Had no more fevers. By my 3rd pill on the hydroxychloroquine, I was out in my garden. It had got away from me being sick, and I was out trimming my garden, and I really felt like I was 99% over COVID-19. My husband was a little not sure about taking the hydroxychloroquine. So once he saw how quickly I bounced out of bed and how quickly I got back to a normal life, he then decided, yes, I'm going to take it too. So we got a hold of the same online doctor, went over all of his health history, all of his prescriptions and vitamins he's on, and they called in a prescription of hydroxychloroquine. I'm not getting anybody in any trouble, so I'm not mentioning what online doctor I used nor what pharmacy that we used. After Dave's pills came, and then he took his first one, he felt better the following morning, and he took his, because he got them late, he took his in the evening as well. So after the very first pill of hydroxychloroquine, he felt good. By the second pill, he was out in the backyard fixing little things that needed to be repaired. By the 3rd pill, he was really, he was up walking around in the backyard. He was redoing some sprinkler heads. By the 5th pill, he felt that he was almost completely back to normal. I say almost. His cough still continued. Certainly was a lot less. So he by this time, fast forward, it's 14 days, and he pretty much is released as far as sheltering, quarantining himself in. And so he sees his doctor, and they put him on another prescription for his pneumonia, because remember, he had pneumonia with COVID-19. So he's on his second prescription, and his coughing has, it's almost gone. 99% of him coughing is gone. So he just needed a second prescription to get over the pneumonia, but he is over COVID-19. We are both back to normal. What else should I remember? I want to say that I did feel a heavy feeling in my body, like getting out of bed. I felt like I weighed way more than I do, and nobody wants that. There was a couple times that I felt like when I was taking a deep breath, it was hard to breathe, but that only lasted for me maybe 24 hours. And as soon as I got on the hydroxychloroquine, that went away. I guess my main purpose for the video is, if my husband can make it with all of his medical problems through COVID-19, I don't know why everybody cannot make it through. Why are so many people having to go to the hospital? My husband had everything that they said was going to kill him if he got COVID-19. And the last thing we were going to do was go to the hospital. And we had a pack. Our pack was, the last thing we do is take one another or call 911 for an ambulance. Only if one of us could not breathe, then we would go to the hospital, because for some reason that people are checking into these hospitals and they're not checking back out. I don't know what a lot of the underlying health conditions people have. Maybe a lot of people are going through cancer and are getting hydroxychloroquine. I'm sorry, and getting treatments, and it's not working. Don't be afraid to get on hydroxychloroquine. My husband and I are still on it. We are now on a maintenance program, which is 1 tablet a week, and that's going to help not prevent us from getting it again, but if we do, our symptoms are going to be less severe. And I don't know what else I can say. Please don't fear COVID-19. I don't know why we're locked down. It's ridiculous, quite frankly. I don't know why they took hydroxychloroquine off the market. Yes, I understand there was a few people that took it that died. They were also giving lethal doses of hydroxychloroquine, and quite frankly, anything you give in lethal doses is going to kill you. If anybody wants other questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them. I don't wish to get COVID-19 a second time, but I'm not afraid of it the second time. And neither should you. And neither should we be locked down, nor should hydroxychloroquine have been taken off for COVID-19. I understand Texas has now allowing their MDs to decide whether their patient needs it. Florida, I believe, is now allowing the doctors to decide whether to give it or not. And I understand that to follow maybe Louisiana. All states the doctor should be allowed to decide what to give the patient. And I wanted it. It was my request. I wanted to try it. So I should have the right to try it. What happened to the right to try that President Trump signed? And why is hydroxychloroquine not part of the right to try? I want to thank the doctors that stood up and voiced their opinions and their experience with hydroxychloroquine. Had I not heard that, quite possibly we'd still be sick, or David would probably. It's a 2-week thing. You just have to get through it. If you get COVID-19, just know that 2 weeks, you're going to have about 4 or 5 days that kind of miserable. Motrin controlled my fevers and my body aches. We didn't have much else. We had some over-the-counter flu medicines that we took. Understand that one doctor said that probably wasn't going to help us any for COVID-19. Anyway, I'm signing off. If you do have any questions, I'd certainly be happy to answer them.